while we still have a chance.
Yeah, right. Mm. Let's turn that down a little bit. Can you hear the music?
No. I am hearing no music.
Do you have it muted?
There would be no reason for me to mute music, but I can check. Yeah, no, I've got it at 100%, and I do not hear it.
I wonder if... Am I in? Nope, I know why.
Oh, now I definitely hear it, and it is loud to me, so I'm going to turn it down.
Like I said, all of my audio sources got switched.
No joke, right?
No joke. So what's going on, my dog?
Oh, nothing, brother. Just trying my best to stay alive.
That's a good thing.
Actually, my work is a grind, and I'm ready for it to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I can see why financial things would be busy this time of year.
But also, it's like Beth and Scott want to get together every week, and I just had some of my outlying office people in town, and so we were like going out every evening and stuff like that, at least for dinner. And so all that stuff compiles. It's like I'm working 7 days a week, six, 7 hours on Saturday and Sunday, and then like really 14 hours during the week because I'm not getting home until like 8 p.m. or something. It's like ready for it to like have more predictable schedule.
You're ready for May where you can like sleep for 6 days straight?
All I really want is for a day that I don't wake up to an alarm. It's like 7 days a week. So 2 weeks from now, there will be a Saturday where I get to sleep until 9 o'clock.
And that'll be amazing.
It'll be the best day ever. But yeah, it's just like everything gets put on hold. We haven't scheduled our vacations yet because it's really been so busy we can't even think about it.
Yeah, how can you, right?
Finish my taxes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just whole life is on hold until this stuff slows down a little bit.
I would like to say I feel your pain, but my job is not like that.
Yeah, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I certainly don't prefer it, but then during the summertime I'll have Fridays off, so I'll like it'll feel different the other way. I'll have plenty of time to get things done. So but you got to get there first.
Yeah, and I mean, so what? 5 months out of the year is just absolutely dog shit crazy, and the other 7 is more even keel.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, we start getting crazy in December already, so it's really like December to mid-April. Yeah.
Good morning.
Guten Morgen. Ja.
What's up, genius?
Not much.
What's the word from the
How's
dog
my
pound?
audio?
Your
Pretty normal.
Your audio was fine
It was
until
a
you
little,
hit audio.
it was a little bit
Mm.
robotic, but
All right. I'm gonna pull the plug. I'll be right back.
I think that is
It's been a while.
pulling
All
the
right.
plug is your internet cable.
Sure.
Are
I'll see you in a minute.
Are we going to get into 6 more euphemisms for penis?
yikes!
He's gonna go pull his plug.
Tell me we're still doing phrasing.
uh,
Hey, Tom Norman.
hey, John Dittmer.
When I toggle fog, what should it look like for you guys to see it?
You were really quiet for me. When you toggle
Fog.
what?
Fog on Owlbear. What should it look like when you guys don't see it and I do? Because I don't. I always see it.
Okay, so for you as a DM,
Yes.
it's an opaque box or whatever you draw.
So if it has the lines through it, what does that mean?
You would have to share your screen with me. If you want to do a fake map and try it out, I can talk you through it because I don't want to see your map.
Well, it's the beginning adventure. It's just I'm fucking around learning how to use fog. So,
Yeah. So what I do is I click the fog tool and then I just draw my.
Yeah, I have all my polygons. I just need to know what the toggle should be for.
To turn it off.
Should it be like a gray covering or should it be the lines through it? What does it look like when you're revealing it?
Oh, when I'm revealing it, I just delete my squares.
Ooh, okay. Well, here. Do me a favor. Jump into Owlbear. Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay. Then I will send you the password instead of saying it out loud.
That is probably a good idea.
Where are you? Let's see. Let's use this. This is you.
So you're not
So,
reusing my password? Because I quite enjoyed my password.
Your password is cool, but I don't know. Can I reuse it?
Probably not. It's probably instanced.
What I'm thinking, so that's why I did.
You could put the number 2 after it, or you could put 2 in front of it, because that would be funny.
Yeah.
Were you sending it to Facebook?
Discord.
Discord? All right.
So just hop in there and let me know what you see. If you see the stuff, because I know what the 2 toggles are.
Hold on a second.
Have you been playing with the 2 toggles?
Yes. 2 turn toggles on a microphone.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
Genius is like, WTF LOL.
I got encounter set up. I'm actually planning on us getting to a little bit of adventuring today. I'm not necessarily planning it, but I'm ready for it. Should we?
Just roll a couple dice.
Yes. Exactly. Can I roll dice in here is the question.
So
Also-
from a campaign perspective, can we see more than just the other players' basic name and race?
I don't know. I don't know about that. We can think around with that.
Yeah,
Either
play around
it
with
didn't
that.
put me into the right.
No, you're not in the right one.
I am. It's
Open the map. Select map. There should be a menace level 1.
Nope. It's just my maps.
That's
Or
weird.
are we owl bearing today?
Possibly. Enable fog preview. Oh, never mind. I got it. I can see what the fog is. So now I know how to reveal.
Okay, I left. Bye.
Okay. See if you can get in again. That's weird.
I'll try a different
Mm.
browser, the one that I don't use.
Yeah. I will send, now that I know how this works, I will send the Owl Bear password to everybody. And see if anyone else can get in here.
Nope, I don't see any
Capitalization
maps.
matters. Capitalization matters.
I literally copied and pasted what you sent me.
What the fuck? I don't see any of you.
Alright, you dork with that. I'm going to announce that we're live.
Oh, okay. Here. Well, let me try doing this. Bear. No, don't capitalize that, you motherfucker. I hate that. Don't auto capitalize it. Is there a way to turn that off on your phone?
Turn what off?
Auto
Hit-
capitalization?
Hit the shift button.
No, I mean like permanently, so it doesn't fucking do it when I don't want it capitalized.
I
I
don't
don't know. I'm in a thing, and it's me and Norm. I don't see anyone else in it. You didn't have an extra space at the end, did you, or something? That would have
I don't think so.
been. And that was the name of the. Are you still in it?
Yeah, I'm in it.
And you don't see us,
No, I don't see
and we
anyone.
don't see you.
And did you send us the right password?
Yeah.
Actually, capitalization shouldn't.
Oh, capitalization
make a
matters.
difference. It's
Yeah.
not a password though. It's a site.
What's a password? Did you go to Owl Bear Rodeo and hit join game?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Huh.
if it's a password locked one though, there'll be a name of it and then a password also.
That's the link. I don't know if that runs to you guys specifically.
No, not.
Hmm.
That is not.
Let me leave.
No, don't leave. Don't leave. Let me try that.
Okay.
You're getting old in your old age, John. Starting to act like those people who don't understand the internet. No, click it 7 times. No, 8 times. I bet you the 9th time will be the charm.
It's funny.
Put an https:// in front of that.
Yeah.
Or that actually the end of what I sent you, the WUX, that's the game ID. So put that in for the game and then use the password. See if that'll help you guys get here.
All right. Well, that didn't work. So let's just.
I will be right back.
I'll be right back.
Old Bear?
Yeah, it's weird because sometimes it gets set up where you'll join the game and then it'll say, "Give me your password."
So what are you guys trying to do?
Mark. Trying to get into the Owl Bear.
Owlbear.rodeo.
Okay, yeah, I got that one.
I just typed in the thing that he had in there, and I'm the only one in it. And there was no password.
I'll try in a second. I'm just finishing up with my tweeting, quote-tweeting. I can speak.
Tweet.
I good speaker. I good speak.
Alright, well, that didn't seem to work either.
Where is it? Stuff.
Why did this get jacked up?
Well, Norm, you're still in this one.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Nothing yet, huh?
Not seeming to work.
That
It's
is
snapping.
messed up.
Son of a bitch. Oh, you fucker. All right. I hate it when stuff snaps.
Keep in mind the first in that WU, that first after the X is a 0,
Yep.
and then the
Yep.
second one is an O. So,
Okay.
I
Strangely,
got a blank screen when I put that in.
okay.
Okay, I hand typed it in and it didn't work. I copied and pasted it into a browser, and now I think I'm in on my phone.
Okay. Then
So
go
I don't
to
know.
select map and see if there's a menace level 1 there.
A what level one?
Menace level 1.
I do not see
No.
that.
You're a menace level
So
1.
Green Hag, is that who's Green Hag?
Not me. Probably Rick.
No, mine says Rakshasha as you
Oh.
in the party.
That would
Wow.
be
Well, somebody else is in the
Change
same
nickname.
one, but it says Green Hag.
this is
I'm gonna change my name to there. Right there. No.
fucking weird.
Share audio.
Yeah.
Start timer.
There's no
Settings.
Copy. Then in Discord.
W.
All right. I got a Kuta.
This is not where I expected to be having problems today.
O J Y.
I don't
Tom-
see a map, and if I click, I think if you're not the
Oh, there,
owner
okay, I
of
see
the,
Genius, Kook, Green Hag. Yep, okay. I see
So
you guys.
who's Green Hag?
Green Hag's gotta be John. He's the only one who's in.
Green Hag's in
Why are
Ham.
you guys all in a fucking room and I'm not in that room? And I'm refreshing the page. You're in the game I created, but Albert Rody, you're dumb sometimes.
We should be finding a map or something.
No, there's
Yeah.
no map. I think you have to share us the map. So, all right, there's Norm.
It's uploaded. It's uploaded. It should be there. That's fucking weird.
We're all here.
I might actually be Green Hag and Genius because I think I might have it on 2 devices.
Do you have it
Huh,
loaded
I
on your
thought
screen,
that.
John?
Yeah.
Ew,
John, take.
too weird.
Oh, I guess it won't matter because if it's not the same.
This is not where I expected to have problems. Thomas, the Two Nerds Live
Oh yeah, Green Hag
chat
is me.
channel secure? Like, is anyone else allowed in there other than us?
No.
Or is that?
On Discord.
You're talking about the video?
Yeah. Not the video.
The chat?
Can I chat?
That is
Chat
not
within
secure.
the Two Nerds Live?
There's no lock
So-
on it.
What you sent us, we are all in, John. All of us, and we're not in the one that you're in.
How the fuck do I?
Do you want me to make it?
Did you?
Albert Rodeo. No. Join game.
What I wanted.
Okay, I got rid of my Green Hag. But if you move into that one, then you're gonna lose the maps that you created in the
Yeah,
other one.
that's fine. It's fine. It wasn't hard to do what I did,
all right.
but I just want to get in the same flipping room as you guys.
So
It's
just
private now if you want to use it.
Copy and paste what you put into Messenger into a blank browser, and you should be with us because that's all I did. Which means there's something is different between what you sent us and what you have. Which would be weird if you copied and pasted it.
I copied and pasted it. I'm in there. My map is there. I'm by myself.
We're all here.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Playing with yourself is not fun. At least not in this game.
No. How
Speak for
on
yourself.
God's green earth?
I mean, I literally went in the messenger, click copy,
And
went
broke
to
out the
a
old
blank
Talking
browser,
1265 sweatshirt. Nice.
hit paste,
Yeah,
and
that's right. Delete. Ha! The last letter of the link I sent you, capitalize it.
The E?
Yes.
Enter password. What's the password?
Right above the link I sent to the
Oh, shit. Let me see here.
in the messenger.
Two nerds PF.
Don't say it out loud.
we're on.
Why I sent it via messenger? I don't want 70 people in here.
Said we're secure.
No, not the video. The
Not
Discord.
the video is not secure.
You're not wrong,
Yeah,
Elfin.
there we
we're
are.
on
Discord
Twitch
channel.
right
All right,
now.
I see a map now.
We are on Twitch. We are live right now. Yay! Cool.
Right
we have
now.
a map.
Yeah,
Watch, we
okay.
won't even get to the point where we need this today.
Okay, I just went to
Yourself
Owlbear and
is
nobody's in
cool.
the one that I was just in.
Yes.
Yeah, because you
So,
missed an instruction.
You gotta copy and paste the
Capitalize the last letter instead
thing
of not cap.
from. Yeah.
The last letter of the password?
No,
No.
the last letter of the link.
Yeah, just type it right in
E.
the. You can just type it right in the browser. Just replace it, and then it'll pop up the "Give me your password."
Operator error is what it is.
I'd rather make the mistake today than on a day when we're in the middle of a heated battle.
Yes. Yes.
You're gonna need to reshare me the link to get into your. Oh, look at that shit. You're gonna need
You're
to
there.
send me the link to get into your
Both the
campaign
messenger.
with.
Oh, in the
Okay.
campaign.
Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna need that too because I have a different character.
Let's see. GM tools. Campaigns.
All right, I'm gonna start the show. I guess allegedly.
Yeah.
Yay!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Nerds, One Quest. I am your host, Norm, and joining me with all of the audio and computer problems. Are you ready, Jan? You ready, John? Johnny, you ready? Mr. DMGC, John Dittmer, how you doing, buddy? Fair enough. Yeah, that's my internet went because I watched the frames dip on OBS. Also joining me today. Yeah. Also joining me today in the Partridge family, Brady Bunch, right below me, Mr. Genius, Jeff Williams. How you doing, buddy? Everybody had technical issues today. Below him. Below him on your screen, but not in our hearts, is Cooch. Mr. Ryan Kukta, how you doing? Oh shit. Everybody's on mute. Alright.
Norm.
Hey, start
Or-
over.
Like I told you. Okay, so we have DMJC that way.
Hi.
Directly underneath me is Genius, Jeff Williams.
Hi.
And directly underneath him is Cooch, Ryan Kukta.
Boomtown, get him.
And directly all the way at the bottom is
Oh, man on the totem pole.
the low man on the totem pole is the literal totem pole, Rick. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. I'm doing good. I'm told I'm low man on the totem pole, so I can't talk over anybody else. So that's why I'm on the bottom.
Yeah. And this is all why I need to be sure I monitor audio when I do shit instead of just clicking buttons and doing things. It's been one of those mornings.
Pressing all the buttons is just fun.
Pressing all the buttons. Press your buttons.
If they don't work, press them harder.
Or
Accurate.
faster.
And then if that doesn't work,
Yeah.
you unplug it and plug it back in again. Although I can't do
Oh,
that
yes.
with the stream going and with you guys.
Yeah.
However,
The first trick is finding that button, though, which
Yeah.
men aren't very good at.
the first rule of Two Nerds One Quest is you A, talk about Two Nerds One Quest, but also B, the second rule is you always have audio problems.
Sure.
Actually, I would say audio problems is the first rule of Two Nerds One Quest.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does. So, we are here. We are doing character creation, and we're
Yay.
proud of it.
Character creation session 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll do a character creation session for the main campaign, but for our one shot, we will do some character creation here.
Yep, we're gonna do it live. Oh boy,
Doing it live.
Doing it live.
Tom, you went dark.
I know that's because I'm
Hiding from the wife.
no. that is not accurate.
Wizard cast light.
Something like that. No wizards, no casting light. So I was telling Cooch before the stream started that literally every single one of my audio sources got reset to default. So that's why the stream started at literally like quarter after instead of early. And that's why I say audio issues. Although there wasn't really audio issues when we started. That was mainly me just not unmuting you guys. So that's operator error.
Again, you got to be smarter than the equipment you're working with. When typing passwords and websites, capitalization is important, folks.
Yeah, right.
Apparently.
So, are we ready to create some characters?
Yes,
Sure.
John, what are the constraints of which we are making these characters today?
We are making these characters in the core rule book. The characters for the main campaign, I think we're actually going to switch up. And because Ryan's got a real kind of cool heritage that he wants to use, and I like the idea of him using the heritage. And in fact, we may even just, if he's maintaining the same character, we may just flip that up when the time comes, but it may just be the same character because there's a way for that to happen. We'll just DM fiat the fact that you look like a human.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Not game Volvo.
It is not outside the realms of a good story that he is already what he is. But she, I should say, looks like a human.
Well, I happen to have a character built already as a human, so we'll rock that. And
Yep.
And then we'll
just
figure out how that works today.
Yeah, we'll flip that up for the main game when we go full on. All right. So, the really kind of cool thing about Pathfinder, actually, it's kind of clever and it's neat, and they have this thing called the ABCs of character creation, which, when someone said it the first time, I went, wow, that's really kind of neat. The ABCs being your ancestry, your background, and your class. The one thing that I would suggest we know before going into this, and something that I suggest you do during it, I noticed I created some characters on Wanderer's Guide. Just take a notepad and jot down where you're putting your bonuses so you know what your ability scores are. Because there isn't a real good place to see that as you're creating the character. So typically when you start, the other thing I would say is if you have your class in mind, figure out what your primary stat is for your class. It is listed on the page, the first page of your class. It will be called, if I can find it, classes, your key ability. So Rick, you're making an alchemist?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and I'm sure you know this already. Your key ability is intelligence.
That's important.
That is important. Knowing
Smart.
that before you start choosing all your other stuff, like, is helpful. And one key thing with your ability scores is you can't go above 18 in character creation. That is the one limitation they kind of really set out on things. So I already kind of blew the surprise with Rick that he's going to be an alchemist. What is everyone else going to be? Let's just roll around the table for our high concept thoughts. We'll start with Cooch because he's rubbing his
All
hands.
right.
thought
I am
we were
really
supposed to
interested.
start with A.
Well,
Doing this backwards.
I'm interested in designing a cleric build today. So, some sort of spellcaster, focused on healing, and possibly looking at some ranged activity, see where the build takes me.
Nice. Ranged activities. I like that. We'll go to Jeff now because I'm going
Uh,
clockwise on my screen.
Well, the alchemist has got the range. We just heard range from Cooch, so I'm gonna go barbarian and get in some melee.
Sounds familiar. As Jeff
Yeah.
played a barbarian in my 5e campaign, my homebrew campaign. And we know Rick is doing the alchemist. And then Norm, what did you finally decide on?
I am going to be a fighter.
A fighter.
I
Excellent.
am going to be a fighter, and I will go into a little story on that
Fights
later.
with fists and fisticuffs.
Yep, when we
Yeah,
actually
cool.
talk about our characters, I have a little story, a little backstory.
So does everyone know their primary ability then?
No,
Or their key ability score?
think
For
mine
fighter,
is
I believe
strength.
Strength.
It can
choose
be
something.
dexterity.
It can
Yeah.
be dexterity.
Maybe you want to
Um,
be an archer.
Your
Yeah.
mom's an archer.
You-
I don't recommend you being an archer because I'm not going to ask the logistics of that, but seeing as how everybody else is kind of range. Well, no, Jeff's melee, but 2 range, 2 melee would be good. So if you wanted to be strength, would be your thing if you're doing sword and board or big hammerish things. So let's see. Let's go to characters. I'm going to actually pull up the character creator in Wanderer's Guide myself.
Yep, I am
Okay,
sharing
great.
mine on the show, so everybody can see what I'm doing.
All right, cool.
Awesome. So the first thing we get on Wanderer's Guide is a big list of all the options and whatnot, things we can use. For this, we'll turn off the Advanced Player's Guide and the Game Mastery Guide, and we're just going to use the core rulebook. Leave on in the options, leave on auto detect prerequisites and class archetypes. Leave that stuff on.
I also
Everything
toggle
else.
I toggle on down in options dice integration. I'm not sure exactly what it does, but I like using the automated dice.
Yeah, I'm going to throw that on in this one as well. If you want it publicly visible, you can hit publicly visible.
Where'd you see the automatic dice? Dice integration.
Ooh.
Yep.
Dice integration at the bottom of the options. It's like the very last option.
Publicly visible would be very helpful for me for maintaining the game state in between sessions.
Anyone
So,
can
yes,
view the
wanna-
character using the sheet URL. So that we toggle that on,
Good
we'll
stuff.
send the sheet URLs to
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yep, and then what I'm going to do with these URLs then is I'll put them in our show notes so everybody can click and see what our characters are like.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's actually cool.
All right. So the first thing you'll notice, well, here at the top, there's a campaign code. So you can throw your campaign code in there that I sent you earlier if you wanted to.
I will not.
Eventually you'll want to.
Well, yeah, not on stream though.
Oh yeah, that is
Yeah,
fair.
you're live. Yeah.
Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. Okay, so we're gonna build by ABC. First things first, if you want to name your character, it's right there. I have unnamed characters. So what I am going to do, I'm gonna have some fun here, and I am going to create Eliana Temerant, level 1 cleric. You'll notice in your ability scores, everything is set to 10 because that's where everything starts.
Oh, I
Then
thought
you
it
will
turned it up to 11.
Now, unfortunately, you'll get the
Turn it up!
you will get the opportunity to turn it to 11, Norm. All right, and then you can either click on the A above, or you can click on the arrow on the right-hand side. Will take you to the next step in your character's creation. Which, for all of us, will be our ancestries. What are we? What were we born as? In the ancestry box where it says none, you can click on that, and Eliana was a human. So I'm confirming that.
All right. So what's everybody's ancestry going to be? I'll jump off because I am talking. So I'm going to click on human because John alerted me to the fact that all subclass, or not subclasses, but all like half, when you click on something, you're going to have halves.
The half elf, the half orc are heritages of a human.
Yep. So I confirm ancestry as human.
Yep. Then you are given the
Now I
the
choose
choice,
my heritage.
your heritage.
My heritages can be half elf human, half orc human, skilled human, or versatile human. I am going to be a half orc human.
Nice. I, as a human, Eliana, am going to take skilled human.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
she is.
Heyo.
And I guess that allows me to choose a skill with her, which will be medicine.
She might get that
medicine?
automatically.
Yeah, medicine. Sure. And then the other, I get that automatically from my class, don't I?
You might.
I might, but
If you do, you'll just be able to take something else.
Yep,
Yeah.
it'll allow me to take something else before. So I'm going to take medicine and hopefully force that to happen. Then, well, here, let's get everyone else going.
Eliana, the cleric medicine woman.
Yes.
When
Eliana
you
medicine.
there's also a pull down menu for initial stats above the heritage that you choose your boost.
And below mine is ancestry feat, so I can choose an ancestry feat.
Oh, yes, there is.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
So I already know what my ancestry feat is because I kind of dorked around with this, and I'm going to choose like all of these. When you click on them, it gives you a little pop-up. So, haughty, obstinacy. I can't say those words. Your powerful ego makes it harder for others to order you around if you roll a success on a saving throw. So you have all these different things. I'm going with orc ferocity. Fierceness in battle runs through your blood, and you refuse to fall from your injuries. You avoid being knocked out and remain at 1 hit point, and your wounded condition increases by 1.
Mm. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Here, you are not dying one. You're just wounded one with 1 hit point.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you become wounded 2 with 1 hit point, which means you become wounded 3 with 1 hit point.
Mm-hmm.
How many times does that...
How many times can I use it?
Yeah, I was going to say, how many times can you use that per long rest? Per rest, I should say. Not long rest, per
once per
rest.
day. Once per day.
Once per day. Okay. Okay, cool. I was going to say, doesn't that make you impossible to kill? But no, once per day. As part of the human ancestry, I get my 2 boosts and a language, which shows up in that as well in the initial stats. Jeff, what are you going to be?
Tom, did you pick strength under your initial stats then?
No, I'm just kind of
You
slow
gotta-
rolling this, so I'm listening to you guys talk, and
Okay. Well, let's get if above heritage there's another pull down.
yep, I was gonna do strength, and I was gonna do I was
He
debating
can do this
between
stuff.
intelligence or charisma.
Jeff.
Oh,
he
yeah,
can
you
do
get
this
to.
stuff at any time. People can see him doing it. So as I'm talking to you guys, he can do it. And
Got it.
so let's
All
not
right.
spend a lot of Tom. We're just going to hear what his decision is, and whether he's actually doing it or not will happen when other people
right.
have it happen. So what do you
Sounds
got rolling for us?
All right. Well, I wanted to go with something kind of off, and since Goblin is not in the 5e basic rules, I wanted to go with Goblin in the Pathfinder basic rules. So I went with Goblin. Um, and with wanting to be a barbarian, I chose strength for the boost, the free boost.
Yep.
Heritage, kind of looked at those, and while all of them are pretty cool, I thought maybe Unbreakable would be fun, but in the end I read about the Iron Gut Goblin, and he can basically subsist on anything, garbage, trash, moldy food, and basically he gets bonuses to saving throws against affliction and sickened condition, so pretty much can eat anything.
You're essentially
Uh,
that big ass rat in Ratatouille.
That's yep, that's it. So, looking at the ancestry feats, there's one that pairs well with the Iron Gut Goblin is the City Scavenger. So I can search, I gain bonuses to subsist, and the bonus is even better because I have the Iron Gut Goblin heritage.
Nice.
I make stuff out of trash and eat stuff out of the trash.
You gross.
Fantastic. Yep. He's essentially, I said you walked away, Norm. He's essentially the fat rat in Ratatouille,
Oh, nice.
except he's a barbarian. I'm going to transition to Rick here because there has been some discussion about Rick and Jeff's characters for this and their relationship. What do you got going, Rick, for this one?
I also chose Goblin. I like the chaotic nature of having a alchemist that's a little unhinged. So it seemed to fit. And as we had talked about, my key stat is intelligence, so I chose that. I get 4 languages, but we won't go through all those. I just picked some random ones. Don't know we'll encounter many languages in the starter campaign. As a heritage, I went with the Charhide Goblin, which seemed to make sense for my little guy who plays with bombs. That he would be a little his skin would be a little resistant to maybe fire after failed attempts at learning how to become a good alchemist.
Yeah.
May not have been so good to start. So being a Charhide Goblin, it gives you fire resistance to half your level, minimum 1. So at first level, you got a fire resistance of 1. And you also recover from being on fire more easily. So if you have persistent fire damage, you only have to beat a 10 to get rid of it, as opposed to a 15 for usual. So all good things for fire. And then as far as my ancestry feat, seemed naked arm. Yeah, and for the ancestry feat, keeping that chain of thought through my whole character, I went with the Burn It ancestry feat, which it's a +1 status bonus to any persistent fire damage that my character would deal.
Excellent.
Also get gain a status bonus equal to half spells levels from 1/4. Yeah. So he actually gets a +1 to any fire damage and +1 to persistent. So when he throws a bomb, he actually does direct damage, he does splash damage, and he does persistent damage. 2 of those will have +1 bonuses from the Burn It feat.
That sounds fun. Not for probably my character, who's probably going to be in the way, but yeah, that sounds fun.
And last but not least, one Ryan Kukda. It's hard not to say Crixus there.
I'm really trying to keep it a little straight and narrow because it's mostly about the mythos and the lore for me on this one. So, maintaining an ancestry of human, skilled human heritage. She's a unique individual, and just going with some feats here. General training to get some more points, and toughness because AC is going to be low on my cleric, so just making it so those heal spells can actually heal quite a bit and make sure I stay alive to heal everyone's.
That is a good thing. For Eliana, for her ancestry feat, I chose cooperative nature. Because that just seems like her short human lifespan lends perspective as taught to you from a young age to set aside differences and work with others to achieve greatness. You gain a +4 circumstance bonus on checks to aid. So, which is
Nice.
we'll get into that. It's kind of interesting, where when you aid someone, it's not like giving advantage. It's you actually have to make a roll to aid someone, and then depending on how your roll turns out, determines how well you aid them. So there's all kinds of hijinks that can happen there. All right, with
Hijinks.
everyone having their ancestry and heritage filled out, we can go to B, which is our backgrounds. And this is where I told Ryan if he was going to read anything this week, read up on the backgrounds, because there are a lot of these. And I am just going to, right off the top, because she is everyone's favorite barkeep, let everyone know that Eliana is going to be a barkeep. Because
Nice.
she is. So as a barkeep, she gets 2 boosts, and she becomes trained in diplomacy. So one must be to Constitution or Charisma, and the other one is a free ability boost. And because I took Charisma with a thing earlier, I'm taking Constitution with this one. So we'll go back over to Jeff. We'll just keep going in a circle here.
Yeah. No, this is good. So I initially thought barkeep would be kind of fun, just something to have, but then thought my character definitely would not have very good social skills based on what I envisioned for my character. And when I was looking at the equipment, I saw an item that I thought I would want as my primary weapon. So I decided to make a minor change. Literally, I chose minor.
Oh.
So
See what you did there.
you earn a living wrenching precious minerals from the lightless depths of the earth, and so on. If you have to head back underground this time, you plan to do so armed with a real weapon instead of a miner's pick. So I'll probably be choosing a great pick for weapon. My 2 ability boosts: one must be strength or wisdom, again strength for the barbarian, and constitution for the devouring of fun things. Trained in survival and mining lore, and I gain the terrain expertise skill with the underground terrain. So I have terrain expertise for underground.
That will be helpful, at least in this beginning adventure, for sure.
So a little bit of backstory on the background. I figure that he was part of a goblin settlement that was mining for shiny, precious things. He never got to keep them. While he was in the mine, something came along, probably dwarfs, and decimated the rest of the people. By the time he came out, there was nobody around. So then he started wandering, looking for people and work, or other goblins. So something along those lines.
Awesome.
Cool. Let's move that background then. Oh, I need to say this because I just noticed it. All your stats and crap are on the left-hand side. You don't need a notepad. I'm just blind. That's all.
I think if you're on a smaller device, it might not have shown up.
Oh no, I was doing it. I was doing it on my laptop, so I should have seen it. Even now, I have half of my monitor with us, so it's But
You
yeah,
have
if I was
glasses,
on a-
right?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Maybe I should get my prescription checked.
Maybe.
Rick, you got a background for your goblin alchemist here?
Yep. For his background, I went with a tinker. Seemed to fit that he would like to play around with little things. And with Jeff's backstory there, being a miner, since our goblins are going to be connected, I assume my goblin may have been the demolitions expert working with the mining company that Jeff's goblin was working for. He was the muscle, I was the bombs.
Nice.
So as a tinker, he had 2 ability boosts. One must be strength or dexterity, dexterity or intelligence. Must be dexterity or intelligence, and 1 free boost. I actually used both of those. I made the first one intelligence and the second one dexterity, both to help my AC, and also because throwing bombs is a ranged attack that requires dexterity. And you also get trained in the crafting skill, which they specify what type of crafting you get specialized in, so I picked alchemy for that, and that's one skill to get trained in, and I picked stealth for that. I'm not sure. I might change that up before the game starts. We'll see.
You know, it'd be really funny, Rick.
A bombing goblin is not very quiet,
No,
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 but he might be quiet to get to where he places the bombs.
it's true.
it would probably be really funny if you had a super low dexterity. So you would have somebody that really liked to play baseball, but like couldn't throw the ball.
I'm just thinking that's why he's so resistant to fire is because he's got a low dexterity. He never got out of the way of any of his
Yeah.
bombs. They just went off. He's used to it at this point.
It's like the kids that throw the ball forward, but they don't let go until their hand is down, so it just bounces on the ground in front of them.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Junkrat style.
Point to make here. Wearing armor. The armors have a strength score associated with them. They have penalties for both checks and speed. And if your strength equals the strength score of the armor, you get to ignore those penalties. It's just something to think about. Those light armor are like 10 and 12 is the strength scores. Medium armor is 14 and 16. And heavy armors are 16 and 18 for strength scores to ignore those penalties. So it's just something to think about as we get into armor. And this is why we're doing beginner adventure and characters that may not be the ones you're going all the way with. So we learned some of these things. But it was something I realized after I created Eliana. I was giving her some armor. I'm like, oh, wait. I probably should have built her slightly differently. Given her at least a 14 strength so she could wear some... What I was looking at the D&D Beyond character and trying to make them align, and I'm like, this isn't going to work at this level. I'm Norman. Do you have a background for your fighter?
My fighter is going to be, shockingly enough, a gladiator.
Ooh.
Yeah. The bloody games of the arena taught you the art of combat. Before you attained true fame, you departed or escaped the arena to explore the world. Your skill at drawing both blood and a crowd's attention pay off in a new adventuring life. And I get 2 ability boosts. One must be strength or charisma, and the other one is a free ability boost, and I am trained in the performance skill and gladiatorial lore skill. And I gain the impressive performance skill feed.
I have a question for both Jeff and Rick. Because I think the goblin has one. Did you have a flaw?
Goblins have flaws in charisma, I believe.
It's wisdom. Wisdom.
Yeah.
Is it wisdom?
It's wisdom.
flaw?
Ah, okay.
So that is something that if you have a flaw, it's a -2 to your ability score in that stat. Just
And
want to make sure that was happening and that we mentioned it because
I was going to ask if I can make it so that it hits my intelligence instead of wisdom because of my character build. And I can make it do that, but it's a DM question because I would have to go back to the basic 10s that I start with and switch wisdom to 12 and intelligence to 8. So that the flaw then basically cancels out that wisdom bonus. It's up to you. It doesn't. I mean, again, 8 or 10 isn't really going to make that much of a difference in the final build. But
let's play it straight for this. But
Sounds
if
good.
this was going to be a long campaign, if you're going to use this character through the majority of the campaign, I'd say sure.
Yeah,
We'll find
if I was going to use them longer, I would lobby for making it a 6. So.
What I love about you, Jeff, you embrace the suck as much as you do the success, which is great.
He's good at the
last
suck.
but not
That's a show title.
Oh, and also, just a side note, I'm choosing strength and constitution for my skill or for my statistics. Constitution because as a gladiator, you must have a strong constitution when fighting. At least that's what I think.
Having a high constitution helps no matter what. It's hit points. So,
Mhm.
last but not least, of course, is one Ryan Kupta.
All right, so the background of my character, she is think of she aligns with more of like a prophet group, and so fortune teller was a really good alignment with the lore that I was going with. So In that one, it's charisma or intelligence. Charisma as a cleric, I read, gives me additional healing spells at the end of my build. So I'm trying to boost up my charisma, and then wisdom is an important score for me as a cleric as well. So I'm boosting up wisdom on this one as well. So.
Excellent. That covers all our background. So last but not least is C, which is our class. Pure class.
Or lack thereof.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go counterclockwise and catch Ryan off guard here. What class did you take?
All right. Well, I am a cleric. That was clear from the onset. So, as I kind of looked at what was important for my cleric, just picking some skills. Um, my charisma is pretty high because of the additional abilities. So I wanted to be skillful in performance, skillful in arcana because my character has a little bit of the occult, things like that going on. So a little bit of the mystical magics.
Well,
And
Ryan, I got a question for you, and I don't know if you noticed it. There is a skill called occultism. Did you want to do occultism or arcana?
I have that
Oh, okay.
because of my fortune teller background. I automatically am skilled at the occult. So
Perfect. Yeah. Missed that part.
But yeah, and then athletics because that'll tie into something related to my deity, which I'm also interested in how that all integrates here. So, and then going down into some additional ability boosts, really focused on charisma and wanted to add something across the board because I really did want my character to be pretty well rounded. So added constitution and dexterity to kind of get some additional hit points and some help to my AC, which is very low. Um, and then added some intelligence just to round these things out so that my character seems to be kind of able to handle just about anything. Then as a cleric, added some additional activity here on the divine font front. This is what allows me to do additional healing spells based on my charisma. And so by picking the healing font, I basically get 4 free heal spells that I get to use each day. So I have picked that I'm going to be a healing cleric and not a harming cleric. Clerics have a lot of decisions to make. I can either be basically a cleric of a war priest or a cloistered cleric, which is more focused on the spell aspect of it. So I'm a cloistered cleric, maximizing my heal spells. Yep. And then last but not least, there's a domain here that I got to pick. Basically, it's almost like an attunement to some unique feature of my character. It fits really well into the lore, so once I got to my domain, I went back and updated the lore of my character. So she has some additional ability based on her moon affiliation, and that gives her a focus spell called Moonbeam, which is basically the most powerful damage spell that my character is gonna have that she can use once daily. So
your character's a hippie?
Every
Moonbeam?
refocus. Yeah, basically. And so that's mine.
Interesting thing. Did you happen to look at any of the gods, Ryan?
I did.
You did?
I meticulously poured through the gods more so than any other aspect of the character building.
Oh, cool.
So the world of Pathfinder to me is most vivid as you look through the gods and try to identify what the positives, negatives, pros and cons, featured weapons, things like that. They're all things that I spent a lot of time looking at. So
Excellent. What did you land on? Or do you
I
want to keep that a
landed
secret?
I landed on, which is tied to the lore of my character, is Callistria, the Savored Sting. Basically, think of this god as like the god of revenge, and really focused on kind of like I don't want to use a terrible term here, but really almost the god of like sex workers, of someone who intimidates and deceives in order to get vengeance and things like that. Not necessarily evil, but definitely focused on revenge and things like that. So the lore of my character is kind of tied to that type of mindset, and really worked well. The favored weapon is a whip. I think that's a cool weapon, even though it's not very powerful. It's very interesting and the ways that you use it. The divine skill is deception, which is really tied to the kind of character that I wanted to make. So it's really kind of intertwined in everything that I'm doing there. So
Yep. That is very, very cool. And the gods in Pathfinder are absolutely kind of fantastic. And for this iteration of Eliana, I chose Caden Kalian, who is the drunken hero, is his name. And there's an interesting story about him that my first character in Pathfinder 1E, that was his god. So a little bit of a history from my past on this. Then we go to Tom Norman. What did you take for a class? Obviously, the fighter.
Yep.
You wanna-
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say that I just discovered that listening to Cooch talk about all of his lore and characters and his spells and Pathfinder in general has turned into my ASMR. I could listen to that all day. So I hope that doesn't make it weird next time I see you in person. I am going to be a fighter. So a fighter gladiator. My basic backstory is that I was kidnapped, turned into, the gladiator pits, became renowned, and then used that to escape. But now that I have escaped, I really miss competition. So everything I do gets competition added into it. It doesn't matter if it's going to the bathroom or walking to the bar, or like going to the bar turns into a big chugging contest, even if it's one-sided. So yeah, it's kind of the, I can beat them. And then it's kind of a competition against like people don't know I'm in competition with them. So oftentimes I'll get weird looks. Like if I just start power walking really fast to catch up and move past somebody. So that's kind of my motivation for my character. I did not do quite as big of a deep dive into this as Cooch did. So I'm going to be, pretty cut and dry. Ability boosts. I get attack of opportunity, which I really like by choosing the fighter. Like that feat is given to me.
Nice.
Yep. I gain a fighter class feat, and I gain the shield block general feat. It's a reaction that lets me reduce damage with my shield. So that is also something that I have thought about. Is I will be doing a sword board. However, it'll be a mason board.
Okay.
Mace and board, not mason board.
He just got a brick in one hand. A brick and he's got a brick and like a piece of plywood. It's a mason board.
Nice.
It's got his mud on that board on the outside of it so he can lay the bricks. It's a mason board.
Yeah. Class feats. I was going to do. Let's see. We have a couple of different ones: double slice, exacting strike, point blank shot, power attack, reactive shield, snagging strike, sudden charge, and really the one I'm looking at, I believe, was the. I'm gonna select this here. Let's see. Choose a key ability, strength. Choose a skill, athletics. I was going to do. Where is it? Fighter feat, class feat. Okay. So reactive shield. You can snap your shield into place just as you would take a blow, avoiding the hit at the last second. You immediately use the raise a shield action and gain your shield's bonus to AC. The circumstance bonus from the shield applies to your AC when you are determining the outcome of the triggering attack. So yeah, if I'm going to be carrying a shield, I like the idea of being able to fling that thing up. I did think about exacting strike. You make a controlled attack, fully accounting for your momentum. Make a strike. The strike gains the following failure effect. Excuse me. The attack does not count towards your multiple attack penalty. I kind of liked that. Having no penalty against multiple attacks, but ultimately, for my character, having a shield, the reactive shield, just really makes sense. So I gain shield block and reactive shield. Ability boosts, I don't know if being competitive is charisma, but he's going to be really charismatic doing it.
You can always talk someone into friendly competition.
Yep. So,
Nice.
At the bar or whether it's whatever, it's going to be that whole, I'll bet you I can do this faster than you. I'll bet you. But he's going to do it in a way that is like enticing to people to actually participate.
Nice.
Skills, I'm kind of going more towards the like intimidation. Survival. And there's another one, and I don't remember. Not stealth. I think I was looking more towards either deception or acrobatics. Like deception, more along the lines of like feinting. Like, when you think you're going to strike one way and then you strike a different, kind of that deceptive fighting. Although I'm not sure how well that's going to work.
Feint is deception and mental. The feint action requires training in deception, just so you're aware.
Wait, what? Say that again?
The feint action requires training, at least being trained in deception.
Oh, I didn't know there was a feint thing. So yeah, deception it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the actions right now. Yeah, it's kind of
So
cool.
you made a good choice.
So that's my character in a nutshell.
Cool.
In a nutshell.
Very,
How did I
it's a
get in
very
this
big
nut?
nut.
What kind of nut has a shell this big?
A
Yeah.
walnut.
Boo.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the one that gets booed.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Yeah, any questions about what I am doing or
No, makes
my
sense.
stuff?
Makes sense. Let's move us to our favorite goblin alchemist.
All right. Starting out your initial stats for class as an alchemist, I get a bunch of skills because skills are based on you get the number of skills you get is based on intelligence. So being a character with high intelligence, you get a whole bunch of skills. Basically chose the more of the knowledge skills, occultism, society, arcana. Also chose medicine. Figured that he have learned to at least moderately patch himself up at times. And then going with the chaotic nature of a goblin, I took thievery and deception as well. and then I took acrobatics. He's got a high dexterity, and usually it's good to have either athletics or acrobatics, one of the two. They're checks that come up pretty often, so give him acrobatics for that.
Cool.
1 second here. Oop. Something just went buggy with my TV screen, so
Uh-oh.
I'm getting it back. At least I'm trying to.
Quick question, and now I'm second guessing myself. Is the mace the one with the chain and the ball at the end, or is that a flail?
That's a flail. Mace is it's a stick with a big ball in the
Okay,
end.
flail. Flail is what I'm choosing, not mace.
Flail?
Flail.
Okay.
Flail. Okay.
I am a
Oh,
flailer.
So you're going to have ranged attack.
I don't know.
Is
Is
flail
Flails give
range?
you range.
Do they?
oh,
Or reach. They give you reach. Not ranged. Reach.
Not reach.
So
Yeah,
you could-
reach. Let's see. Here's equipment.
Okay, so sorry
let's
about
get
that.
us-
Technical
nope.
difficulties on my end.
how dare
You got
you?
it.
Fine.
We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
They were
it's
one of
gonna
the
happen.
only-
This
Those
won't
are
be
the
the last time
skills.
either.
So it's the skills: ability of use, obviously intelligence to keep the intelligence high, dexterity again for throwing and armor, constitution because a few extra hit points don't hurt, and wisdom to offset that negative that goblins start with. Helps that saving throw a little bit, even though it'll never be really good. As an alchemist, to get an alchemist feat, several to choose from, but I mean, if you're going to be a bomber, then the one you really have to take is quick bomber to start. What quick bomber does is it allows you to both interact with your bomb and throw it as one action. Usually those would be two separate actions to pull a bomb and to throw it. So quick bomber gives you the ability to attack with bombs as one action as opposed to two. Saw that as pretty much a necessity. The other ones that you can have at early levels, you can have an alchemical familiar. Far Lobber extends the range of your attacks, and then alchemical savant is more about you can do concentrate or manipulate as a single action, but none of those were as useful as being a quick bomber. As an alchemist, you get a skill. You get alchemy as a skill, and what it does for the alchemist is every day you get what's called infused reagents, and you get a number of infused reagents equal to your intelligence modifier plus your level. So at level 1, I will get 5 per day. With those reagents, you can craft then items that are in your book, within your alchemy book, and each reagent crafts 2 items, a batch of 2. You can't make 2 separate items with one, but you get a batch of 2. Unless they are your specialty item that you identify, and that makes 3. So using the 5 that I get at the start of the day, I can create basically 10 to 12 items that I can use, 10 to 12 alchemical items that I will use. That includes the bombs that I want to throw. There are poisons, there are potions, there are elixirs, and there are just miscellaneous items that can be useful. So there are a lot of different. There's a lot of items that can be crafted, and you're limited to the number that you know as to what you have in your book, and that's specified by how much intelligence you have. So you get and all that's our choices that we make. But these reagents that you get at the beginning of the day are what allow you to craft that stuff. They put a limit on this though, that whatever these reagents that you make are only good for 24 hours. So once you've made them and you've crafted the bombs, if you haven't used them in that adventuring day, they become inert and don't work anymore. So you can't stockpile from day to day, basically. You have to use them within 24 hours or they're no good.
They're essentially the alchemist's spells. They're like
more or
spell
less.
slots, kind of. But it's a different way of getting them. It's
Mhm.
flavorful.
You do get the quick alchemy ability, and what quick alchemy does is that if you have an infused reagent that you haven't already crafted into something, you can take an action and craft. I could craft a bomb and using an action in combat. The drawback is that where normally I would make a batch of 2, I only get 1. So you have the benefit of pre-planning. You get more items if you make them ahead of time. But if you go into combat and you need to whip up something quick because you don't have something for that particular resistance, you can still cover it. It's just you're only going to get half.
That and the quick creation, doesn't that also expire after a round as opposed to a day? I
Remains
thought.
potent only till the start of your next turn. Yep. So you have
Yeah.
to craft it and use it.
Yep. So you can't craft it and
Immediate.
hold it in your hand and wait until the next turn to use it. You got to craft it and throw it.
So
it
like
takes
basically
multiple actions.
taking Mentos and throwing it into a Pepsi bottle, shaking it up, and chucking it at somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. It's essentially what he does. He has reagents that are Pepsi bottle, Mentos.
All right, John, I'm gonna go back and recreate my character. My character is now a Pepsi bomber. That is the coolest thing I've ever. Because I could ride it like a rocket too. It
Yeah, I
seems
mean, if you're
really
a small
cool.
creature, you can get on that bottle and throw it in. Here, I'll get across the gap. Give me a rope.
All right, only if your character wears a cowboy hat, but like a really
Oh,
small one.
Sounds awesome.
Nice.
Bless
so
you.
yeah, that quick alchemy is the way to be able to use the toolbox at your disposal at a cost if you don't plan ahead for the day.
And I imagine there are two very different types of alchemists. Actually, probably three. One that plans all his shit out, knows what he wants, he's calculated, he's cool, he's calm. One that kind of does, well, I will probably need some of these, so I'm going to make some of these, but I'm going to leave some of these open for, just in case. And then you got what I imagine is Rick's. And like, okay, so for me in my head, I imagine Rick as a player being the one that plans them all out in a day and has the maximum effect, the maximum readiness to this. But his character seems like the one that wouldn't plan any of them. Either that or he would do it all and they'd all just be bombs.
Everything about this character screams Junkrat to me. Everything about him.
Oh, yeah.
Junkrat.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
When you travel with a cleric, you don't need to save many for potions.
I'm going to take one step backwards to Tom, because Tom, you said you mentioned wanting the flail. The flail doesn't actually give you a further reach. The weapon traits for the flail are disarm, sweep, and trip.
Nice.
Which allows you to use your flail with athletics checks and stuff to gives you a bonus. The sweep is if you are attacking a second time and it's a different target than the first one, you get a +1 circumstance bonus to hit the second one.
Nice.
Because it's like a sweeping motion.
That's
and then
cool.
You can trip with it and disarm with it as well. But if you fail, you usually end up dropping your weapon, it looks like.
Oh, fun.
And taking any other associated penalties with failing a trip.
Also going back just for a second, I remember the other reason why I was choosing deception. That is because I chose Goblin as a language, but I don't want anybody else to know I know that language.
Fun.
That makes sense.
Fun.
You were probably surrounded by them in your arena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Is there anything else on your class?
A few things. I said I get a book, an alchemy book to put formulas in, and the number of formulas are specified through intelligence. And so my bomber will know how to make alchemist fire, which is basically your fire bomb, an acid flask, and a bottled lightning. So 3 different types of bombs to deal with different resistances. I do have the
lightning.
Bottled lightning. Yep, it's and each flask each type of bomb. They design them to do different things. Like alchemist fire is basically your basic damage dealing bomb. It's going to do the most direct damage. Acid flask does very little damage up front, but then tacks on persistent damage that ticks every round, so that's your damage over time. And then bottled lightning, I think I'd have to look again. I think that makes him flat-footed for a round if that connects.
Yep.
He can make elixirs of life, which may not be as important with a cleric, but seems useful. Has 2 mutagens, Quicksilver mutagen and Silver Tongue. Mutagens are basically potions you can take. They give you a benefit and they give you a drawback. So they have a plus and a minus to each one. The main one there is Quicksilver. I think that gives me a benefit to ranged attacks. I
Cool.
can't remember what the cost is though. And then he knows giant centipede venom, which also would be useful for coating weapons. Our barbarian may find he may have a venom encoded weapon during our
Nice.
adventure. And for tools, he has a smoke stick, which is just a stick you throw and it creates a 5-foot smoky area.
Cool.
Might be a fun use for that. We'll see.
Well, that'll get into the vision rules because the vision rules are very specific. So
Yeah. So yep, that's about it for the Alchemist Bomber. A lot of stuff with them to play around with.
nice. And last but not least, the legend, the limerick maker, the lore master, what was the other L we gave you?
I don't remember. Lazy Dragon.
Lazy Dragon, yeah. There was one recently we came across that I couldn't remember what it was. But anyways, Jeff, what do you got for your
Well,
Jeff? What do you have for your character?
after
class?
hearing Rick spell out all the alchemist stuff, that was one of the classes I thought was interesting when we first started looking at this. But it did get to the point where it's like, I don't know that I want that to be my first character because it sounds really complicated. So I'm glad Rick is up for that challenge because I'd like to see it in action. I went with Barbarian, kind of the other end of that spectrum. There is not much to Barbarian. My intelligence is low, or low-ish. It's a 10, so I didn't have to make as many choices. As a Barbarian, key ability is Strength. Everything basically focused on Strength, Con, Dex, and I basically didn't put any bonuses into Intelligence or Wisdom. My ability boosts I added for Charisma. For I think Intimidation is based on that. My 3 skills I chose: Intimidation, Acrobatics, and Crafting. Figure that if I'm digging through the trash as it is, I'm going to find things and I'm going to want to make things. I think I did also see if you're trained in crafting, you can repair weapons and shields. So I thought that might be kind of a thing he would have been doing in the mines, would have been repairing the stuff that he was using. That's about as intelligent as he gets, I think. As for Barbarian feats, then I think there's 5 to choose from. I went with Sudden Charge. I thought that would be fun. With a quick sprint, you can dash up to your foe and swing. So you get to for the cost of 2 actions, you get to stride twice and make a strike. So that felt like getting a 3 for the cost of 2.
Yep.
Especially when he wants to be up in melee with something. This gives him the ability to get there and make an attack without spending all of his actions. So I went with Sudden Charge for that one. And then a Barbarian gets an Instinct, and this is where making the character twice just to make sure I got what I wanted. I did go with the Fury Instinct, which which basically just gives you an additional ability, a Barbarian ability. So I went with Raging Intimidation. Gives me Demoralize and Scare to Death. Would gain the Rage trait. And as soon as I meet the prerequisites for Intimidating Glare and Stare to Death, I gain those feats. I think Scare to Death is a higher level, but Intimidating Glare is level 1, and it basically says that if I'm trying to intimidate, I can just stare at a creature instead of actually having to speak to it and to intimidate it. So,
Excellent.
So I think that's all of the choices that I had.
All right. Then the last thing we need to do, you can all look at your sheet now. There's a sheet thing we need some gear. And for this, I don't know, do you all want to just grab your class kit? And well, I know some of you wanted special weapons, so
I can go first. I spent some time in the gear.
Sure.
So the
typically when you core rules, you get 15 gold to buy your crap. Is what it is. So,
yeah, and in the core rules there's a little suggestion in the equipment area for all the classes to have certain items. So I started with that, and I think that was like 4 javelins, an adventure pack,
Yep.
type of armor, kind of like it just kind of gives you a few options that you might want. So I started with that and went with I think I went with scale mail for armor because I've got an 18 strength,
Nice.
so it doesn't impose anything. I added a repair kit to help with the crafting skill to be able to repair weapons and armor and shields, I think. And then for primary weapon, I took the Great Pick, which has the trait of Fatal.
Ooh, fun.
So that gets extra dice when I crit on that. And then I grabbed a secondary weapon just in case, because it sounds like we might be dropping these. And I wanted to have a weapon with sweep, so I grabbed a battle axe. Figuring at some point along the way, I picked one of those up. I think that's everything. And it left me with some additional coins of the original 15. Looks like I got about 4 gold.
Cool. Excellent. We'll roll back around Rick's way. Did you dive into any
Yeah,
gear?
I got some gear. Yeah, like Jeff, bought the basic adventurers pack that covers most of your basics for your traveling day. Bought a bandolier to carry all his bombs in. That's basically just a dash that goes across them. Bought some caltrops. You never know, those come in handy. A dagger, if somebody is close to me, hopefully not, but you never know. Got to have something to stab to keep people at bay with. Goblin will wear leather armor because my strength is only a 10, and anything heavier than that, anything more beefy than that's going to impose penalties. Has a sling with some sling bullets because I am limited with the amount of bombs and stuff I can make. So if I run out, I got to have some way to keep doing damage, and so the sling is the backup plan.
Oh yeah.
That's about all he's got.
Excellent. Cool. Tom M. Norman.
So yeah, I'm looking through my stuff right now, and I bought the fighter kit, which gives me bedroll, chalk, dagger, flint and steel, grappling hook, a hide, looks like a hide something or another, hide armor,
Hide armor.
which I'm going to ask if I can get rid of that and just upgrade to a
You got 15 gold, so
Level 1.
It's
Yeah.
the whole fighter's kit is 3 gold, so you still have 12 to work with.
Yeah, everything's going to silver for me. It's not even going gold.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
it
think
says
it-
150 silver.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to add 15 silver back because I then bought the adventures pack, but everything in the adventures pack is the same as the freaking fighter kit.
the adventurer's pack is inside the fighter's kit.
Yeah, well, so I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
add that back. I'm buying. Got the flail. I got shield spikes, which I'm assuming shield spikes is a shield with spikes on it.
Yeah, the shield spikes are on the shield.
Yep.
So
You might
a
have-
shield.
You
I
have
don't
to
know
buy
if
the
you have
shield
to have a
separately. The
shield.
spikes
Yeah.
are just
Oh, okay. So
You
I
need
can-
a shield to put
adding
the
to
shield
them.
spikes on.
yes.
All right.
I
So
think there's 3 different kinds of shield too.
You know, he's got a steel shield in his fighter
Steel
kit.
shield, okay.
So
do I? I do not see it
yeah,
in
it
my.
says a longbow with 20 arrows or a longsword and steel shield.
That's not in the kit. That's a recommended weapon.
It's an options.
Yeah, that's not. I have to buy that.
Oh yeah, you'd have to buy it. So
Steel shield.
what's a longsword versus a? Let's see, where's the longsword?
Longsword is a D8.
But cost wise,
Oh, I know.
longsword's 1 gold point versus the flail, which is 8 silver. Yeah, so you can take 2 silver back and just do for 3 gold get or 2 gold and 8 silver get a steel shield and a flail if you want.
Yep, and I got the shield spikes. I'm going to. So, can I get like a steel mail or something, or is there what's above?
Well, hide
What's above hide?
above hide.
What's your
Leather?
Keep in
what's your
mind,
strength?
your sneaky. Hide is the lowest level medium armor. There is scale mail,
I was thinking more like studded leather.
chain mail, and studded leather is a light armor. and your bonuses aren't as good.
Oh,
Do you have at least 14 strength?
yeah, I have 18 strength.
Does.
Yeah. For you,
What would you allow a level 1 character to have as a fighter?
Well, and anything you can afford, right?
anything you
Yep.
can buy. So if you have, like honestly, if you wanted to go to, you don't want to go to full plate.
You couldn't
You don't
afford it.
have the gold for it, anyways.
Tom, I built a fighter for our main campaign, or at least I've been looking at it. I'd recommend chainmail.
Chainmail's probably
It's
what you want. Yeah,
probably
it's
where you want to,
6
where you're going to
gold.
land.
It's got a
Yeah.
+4 AC bonus versus +3. Your
It does
dex
have
cap
the-
is +1.
He only has 1 dex.
Also it has the noisy trait, which means
You're not going to
Yep.
sneak well.
I'm
you
not
have
a
penalty
sneaker
on
though,
sneak.
so
All
So
right,
scroll
yeah,
down,
then
Norm, on your list a
chainmail.
little further, and you'll see an icon next to your shield and an icon next to the armor.
yep, that equips it.
Click those icons. Yep, you'll see when you do that, now your shield +2 is next to your AC. They put it next to your AC so that, because that +2 for your shield only affects AC if your shield is raised. If your shield
Yep.
is not raised, that +2 doesn't count.
Yep, makes sense.
If you didn't want the noisy trait, you could take the breastplate. It has basically the same stats, except it's not flexible.
No, I like the chainmail.
Okay.
Is there anything else
It's a
that I
little
need? Like I have the shield, I have the flail, I have the chainmail, I have my fighter kit.
Do you have any spare weapons besides if something happens to your flail, or if you would need an offhand weapon or something?
I have a dagger that came with my fighter kit.
Okay.
Probably want to have some sort of ranged option. Now, your dagger you can throw, I think it's 10 feet, but that's not very long. So you could either pick up a couple of javelins, which give you a 50-foot throw, or a sling, which is also a 50-foot range, I believe.
I'll have to do that a little after show.
Yeah, we're gonna have
So
some time to think around with it. And
I need to adjust my coin.
finalize this. Yeah. So yeah, we'll work on getting you set where you need to be set. Ryan. you
Yeah,
look at your
this is
equipment?
a hard one for me too because I'm not really sure on the restrictions aspect of Pathfinder, so that part of it was really perplexing to me. As I'm trying to look at available armor for my cleric, it looks like there's basically no options given the fact that my character is, can't really has low attunement, I would say, or whatever to armor.
You have proficiency in a armor type, right?
Good question. How would
There's
I
a-
know that? in
There's a
Pathfinder?
pull-down menu. Let's see. On your main screen, it should underneath your armor class. It'll say
says
attacks
defenses.
and then defenses.
I'll
It
say
says
trained.
unarmored defense.
So you aren't trained in any armor?
It
No, it
says
doesn't make sense for a
unarmored
cleric.
defense.
Oh,
I mean, I'm a cloistered cleric, not a war priest.
Yeah.
So,
that might be.
Should have. I would think you would have an AC. Or
Well, unarmored, then you don't have a dex cap, but I don't know that you put a lot of points into dex.
I did not.
I'm curious. Can you wear armor without being trained in it?
There is explorer's clothing, which doesn't really do a whole lot except for that it can be etched with potency runes, which I don't know what those are, but I imagine later on it would make sense.
I was wondering why you mentioned your AC so much. Now I'm understanding. I will need to look into this and figure out exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I have 14 AC, which I believe is not ideal, but I mean, if I were if we were playing 5th edition at 14 AC for a
14 might not be.
non-fighting character would be reasonable, but
Yeah.
Probably not terrible at
But I
level
don't-
1, but if it doesn't scale up, and
Yeah. All right, so we'll have to iron out our inventories a little bit here, both Ryan and Tom, before next week. We'll get those ironed out during the week. I'll see if I can figure out if there's a way, and maybe it is just 14 is going to be your AC, and you got some spells or something to help augment that, or
I mean, mine is
no,
18. I don't know
there's
how
no
everybody else.
cantrip. There's no cantrips that really are gonna do that for me. So,
Mm.
and then I only have the 2 level 1 spell slots. So I'll have to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if we have a couple minutes, can we do like appearance?
Yeah,
Things?
if you
Did you wanna
wanted, if you would like to roll through. In fact, Jeff, we can start with you. The last thing I was gonna say is, what is your name, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so we have probably about 5 minutes yet before we gotta.
Yep.
All right, so everybody gets the 1 minute. What do you look like? Okay, well,
Yeah.
as a goblin, he was probably either whether naturally or artificially made into kind of the beefiest goblin. He's probably taller than any goblin you've ever seen, probably taller than most of the short races, and jacked like you would expect a barbarian. So you would not expect him to be a goblin when you would look at him based on his shape and size. He's not very bright. He doesn't. I mean, he's got his scale mail armor on, but you can tell that it wasn't necessarily all there. It has been patched in places with different things he's found along the way, tin cans, pieces of structures and whatnot that he's found. Kind of wearing that. He's probably not wearing much else, so thankfully it hangs a little bit lower than his midline. Yeah, he's yeah, that's kind of so tall, beefy, jacked, not very bright, easily distracted.
Nice. Very nice. Rick, you want to? Oh, what's your name? What's your name, Jeff?
Well, I was. This is probably the hardest thing of all of my choices was coming up with a name, and I decided to
Please
go.
just tell me it's the name of the character inside the quest.
I went with Munch.
Yes.
So because he can eat whatever. He probably had a name when he was born, and it was not that, but he just got known as Munch and doesn't remember what his birth name probably was.
I'm looking at your name and I'm looking at Rick's name in the campaign.
Oh, absolutely. That was
is-
my motivation.
It is so damn perfect. And that being said, I won't make anyone wait for it. Rick, you want to tell us a little bit about your character?
Oh, my character's name is Chuck, because that's what he does. Chucks bombs. He's a small, diminutive goblin, complete opposite of Munch, and bald with the little black hair around the side, green looking guys, but pretty much your basic looking weak goblin. He's no strength and just all intelligence. Like he's all intelligence, no wisdom. So he's smart enough to do a lot of things and to tinker and to build things, but the street sense is not there. So he may take risks at time that don't make a lot of sense because he just doesn't know better.
Oh,
He doesn't have that street smarts to him. It's just all book smart.
cool.
So he's asking whether or not he could, not whether or not we should.
Should, yeah.
Yeah.
When he's playing around with that, you guys are trying to be quiet and he's fumbling around in his pack. That would be him.
Ask forgiveness, not permission type.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Tom Norman, what do you got?
All right, so my character is kind of I would say medium build. He is taller, probably around the 6'1", 6'2" height. Scarred, lots of scars, lots of tattoos, tattooed all over his arms, shoulders, chest, back. Like he's a gladiator. I mean, he fights, and when he's not fighting, he's getting tattooed. So his name is Bilbub Oric Beezer. But his
Say
friend
that again?
Bilbub Oric Beezer. But his friends call him Bob.
Bob. Perfect. Chuck, Munch, and Bob.
Yeah, so he's long, what you would picture kind of that gladiator, longer hair, mohawk style. Not
Nice.
not mullet mohawk, but like his hair is long, but usually tied back, ponytail.
Yeah. Viking looking. Viking-esque.
Yeah, Viking style.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Viking style.
Cool. Cool. And last but not least, one Ryan. There's going to be a name here. Kukta.
Yeah, I didn't really go through the backstory of my character, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet. But Lady Sylviana Frost is she was the leader of a group called the Sisters of Dark Moon, and she is a ridiculously good-looking, like fortune teller, basically prophet, and she got into a conflict with some of the other ladies there, that they wanted to keep outsiders out. Lady Sylviana wanted to move them into a more like aiding and helping some nearby communities. And it culminated in an event that made her basically an outcast. And we might get into that at some point during the campaign, or we may not. But just she's good looking, but you can tell it's like she has trust issues. So
Okay. She's getting paired up with a couple of goblins and a gladiator. Fun. You're the only one, I think, though, that is looking to carry your character forward through this into the main campaign. So it could be kind of interesting to see what happens with the rest of these guys. I mean, when you're dealing with explosives, anything can happen. So, yeah, that will do it. I'll let Tom Norman take us out of here. We will start the Beginner Box adventure next week. A Menace under Otari.
Nice.
It's going to be fun.
We are Two Nerds, One Quest. We are here every Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Catch us over at twitch.tv/TomMNorm, TOMMNORM. This is released in podcast form on Patreon, patreon.com/Two Nerds, One Quest. $1 a month gets you 4 unedited podcasts with pre- and post-show content. The edited podcast comes out on Wednesday mornings. That is free for all. A quick side note, somebody in chat, I don't remember who it was, mentioned that there was an ad during the middle of the show. That is to kind of help alleviate the cost of this show. If you want to remove ads, you can subscribe to the channel, and that removes the ads. So if you don't want ad before the show starts, an ad in the middle of the show, I think it's like every hour, but the show is only an hour and a half, and I think it's supposed to go when you first start watching. I think there's supposed to be an ad, but I'm not sure. If you want to remove those ads, I mean, it helps the show, but it doesn't cost you anything to sit through a 60-second ad. Otherwise, you can subscribe and get rid of those. If you want to support the show, let others know that we are here. Let them know that we are a thing and that you are enjoying it. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Let other people know. That's the biggest thing you could do. Give us ratings, reviews, just get the word out. We would greatly appreciate it. And let us know. Join our Discord. bit.ly/OurFunDiscord. Let us know how you feel about the show. Talk to us about movies, games, music, whatever. Doesn't matter. We'd love to hear from you. That being said, for me, for Rick, for Cooch, for Genius, and for John, we'll catch you next week.
We'll start fighting.
wow.
Sorry. That is.
All right. So if you're in chat, go to this link I just put in there, tommnorm.showbot.tv. Vote on titles. Help us choose. Help us. Let's see here. I need to. Where's that? Creator. Get rid of that.
I voted. I need to duck out of here, folks. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I will see you on next Sunday.
Sounds good.
All right.
Adventure.
All right.
Talk
See
to
ya.
you guys later.
All right. Oh, that just jacked up our video. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read these out. We have Coke bottle Mentos bomber. Yeah, you are. She is. I combined mine and who said? Oh, mine and
Yeah, you are.
Genius's. Yeah.
She is.
Yep. Expects to be on fire consistently. It's a minor change with a great pick. It's minor spelled MINER. He was the muscle, I was the bombs. And embrace the suck. My personal favorite out of all of these is it's a minor change with a great pick because of the play on words.
Yeah. That's good.
Embrace
Something
the
with tide. That's gonna get it.
I also like.
I looked at your cleric cooked. I was trying to figure out your armor. Yeah, you're right. They are untrained in all armor, and unless you're a war priest, you don't get any training in armor. So
Right.
boost the dex and stay out of combat.
What
Yeah, I'm
what
gonna
AC
have to
did you
maybe
guys
go
have?
back and I might have to go back and add decks.
Rick and Tom, what are your ACs?
18.
I think mine's 17. I want to say.
I think
Okay.
mine's 18 with the shield is +2, so that'd be if the shield's raised
Right.
20.
Yeah.
I need to read up on the shield spikes too, because I think that gives me a shield bash, which allows me to do damage.
Yeah, you can use your shield as an attack.
Again, yep. The spikes make it a piercing damage, and I think increase its damage die a little bit. Yeah, my AC 17. The problem with having a low AC is the +10 -10 rule. The lower your AC, the easier it is for them to eat that +10 and crit you.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, since we're only playing one level here, it probably doesn't matter. But if you're carrying your character forward, we probably want to look at ways to make that better.
There have to be ways. I can't imagine that that cloistered cleric remains.
I assume when
At
you get to
low
take
armor.
feats, that there's a feat that gives you the ability to wear armor.
I guess if
I
you're
will-
taking, okay,
Have to spend time with it.
maybe they figure a cloistered cleric is the divine equivalent of a wizard, and you just don't get anything outside of clothes to wear. You're supposed to stay back and not be up. We're so used to 5e where clerics are supposed to
Beefy.
be frontline fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the design in this game.
Well, I think that's the design of the war priest, right?
Yeah,
If I'm staying back, I'm staying back. So, yeah. All right.
Makes sense. I mean, you have two guys that are frontline in the middle of it, and the guy that's mid-tier throwing shit. So, I mean, the fact that you have to stand back isn't like the worst thing.
and Jeff's got a really good ability to cover a lot of ground that he can use if somebody
Mhm.
gets in on Kukta to come to his aid.
I'll take a peek, see what we can do.
Interesting watching you build a fighter, Norm, because I'm working on a fighter for our main campaign, and seeing you build yours a different way from how I build mine is interesting.
Yeah, I spent a little bit of time just looking over all the feats and stuff, and yeah, a lot of those are cool. A lot of them you need to dual wield in order to use them. Obviously, I think that I can't think of that first feat what that was called, but there was
Double slice, I think.
yeah, something like that. I feel like there was some dual wielding stuff, and I didn't want to be a dual wielder.
I think the benefit of having a shield is better than what you get for dual wielding,
Yeah.
at least with a fighter.
Well, and with with penalties and stuff, it's not necessarily a benefit. But, all right, so we have a winner. Coke Bottle Mentos Bomber is our show title today. Congratulations, Crazy Cooch, on your win. I am going to. I also have to get going because I have stuff going on today. But I'm going to throw us over to J.K. Grammer, who is playing The Last of Us 2.
All right, I just need somebody to hang on for a second after we switch
Sure.
over.
All right, so
I'm good. I can stay.
Hang on for a second.
thanks, chat. We're going to switch over. Go follow him. He's a cool dude, and he is part of the Frog Pants family. So, peace.
Hey, Norm.
All right, we are rated.
So, where did John save that campaign code?
He sent it directly to each of our discords.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. So probably if I log into Discord, it's in my DMs.
Yep.
yeah.
I see it. Okay, cool. And is that the same one that he sent out the other day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's only allowed to have one campaign unless he subscribes or something.
That could be.
I think you're right.
All right. Thanks. Sorry. I
Yeah.
don't mean to make it complicated, but
No,
I couldn't find much that would help me out as far as building the initial inventory. How did you guys find
so if
what you
look in the equipment section in the core rulebook, after like the main tables, there's a little thing that each class has a little like write up of what you like a possible starting, where like in D&D Beyond, basically they say this is what you get, and there's a few choices, like options, like do you want a shield or do you want not 2 weapons kind of thing. In this one, it's more of a, well, you get 15 gold, and here's what we suggest you take, but you can really take whatever you want. And then I just kind of looked and said, like, I don't really want those weapons. I want a different weapon. I think I'd like to spend more on armor. And then kind of looking through the items to see what items I'd like to take, like a repair kit kind of thing. I thought was interesting for my character. And Rick had the caltrops, which I think is fun, situational. But in that situation, we will be happy we had it.
The other thing too is if you're looking for stuff to add, I added a backpack, which was like 1 silver piece, and I added a belt pouch, which was like 1 or 2 silver piece, I think. So if you want to actually put stuff into a container to carry with you, and then when you click on the item, you can choose where you want it to go. You can have it like,
It's a good idea, more realistic, right?
yeah, you can have it unstored, or if you have actual containers, you can choose what you want to put it into, and then click move. And then that'll actually make it realistic. And then you can click, it automatically closes like the backpack and the belt pouch in order to see what's in it. You just click open next to it and it shows you.
I think the only thing you start with is a coin pouch for your coins.
Yep.
And that kind of works the same way. And then if you buy like the adventurers pack, it has all of those kind of basic things in it: bedroll, chalk, flint and steel, rations. Oh, I was going to mention, I forgot. I probably ate my chalk, so I don't think I have chalk anymore.
That feels right.
That seems accurate.